competencies. All these should come together to make a competent nuclear engineering. But as was said yesterday, nuclear industry only doesn't rely on nuclear engineers, but other specialists that are needed in the nuclear power plant. Some of those specialists also exist, and therefore nuclear engineering program should be directed also at training student competencies. But these competencies must be nuclearized. I think this was used yesterday, that they could not just move from their earlier fields and then straight work in a nuclear regime. They must be nuclearized. There should be some knowledge of what happens in nuclear power plants for them to be able to move from one to the other. So, as a strategy for us here, we want to start by doing gap analysis of our educational system as far as all programs that we run in universities, polytechnics, and technical institutes are concerned. We wanted to see how close we are to having nuclear content in our existing education programs, not a rigorous type, because we realize that having a full program on nuclear engineering at the undergraduate level will not help, because it will be very difficult to employ such graduates. So we saw that there should be the need of actually introducing some nuclear content into existing program, like chemical engineering program, mechanical engineering program. There should be something relevant to these programs that we can use and introduce nuclear content into these ones. And also, we want to see how this thing is done in Ghana. Are they available or not? And we also wanted to see the scope of nuclear education curriculum content that exists in Ghana, especially at the School of Nuclear and Life Sciences and other institutions. Also, we want to address academic and technical components of teaching staff, because nuclear is a specialized field and the competence must be there to be able to actually allay the information to people who are coming up. So we want to do a gap analysis that will address this field as well, and also availability of facilities to deliver on specific programs. Yes, as I said earlier on, nuclear education should be more practical than theoretical. So we want to see what facilities are there for us to use to bring to speed the knowledge of our graduates. So in doing that, we thought of 4 levels of knowledge acquisition, and we thought that we can attain the nuclearization and specialization through certain programs that are listed here. We thought of having the foundation level, that should be a basic or the first level, and our approach for sustaining the culture of nuclear knowledge in Ghana. And this should introduce, this is based on introduction of courses into existing program at the universities, polytechnics, and technical institutes, and should provide the foundation in nuclear reactor physics, nuclear material, nuclear chemistry, nuclear fuel cycle, and nuclear reactor system. Graduates from this program, foundation level, will not move immediately into practicing as nuclear practitioners unless they have gone through a required additional certification program to meet the minimum employment criteria in the field. So after they complete the foundation level, there should be some development courses, short courses, that will introduce them to nuclear safety, security safeguards, that the nuclearization aspect of it, before they could be moved into working in any nuclear facility. The next level is the basic level. This constitutes the basic requirement for performing safety-related tasks under supervision. We are of the view that some tasks in nuclear power plants are mainly safety-related, and to be able to do this, graduates should be able to have some skill, higher skill than those given at the foundation level. So we are thinking of the 2 years master's program in a specialized field for graduates interested in working in power plants, and this should provide a basic concept for reactor systems and engineering, thermohydraulics, electronics, controls and instrumentation, and the principle of safety, nuclear and radiological security and safeguard. So all these things should be part of the 2-year master's program that will be for people who work under supervision on tasks concerning safety. The third level, the specialized level, which constitutes the institution-specific qualification program, and this should be a 2-year on-the-job training at specialized training institution, maybe sponsored by stakeholders, maybe the vendor, regulator, operator, or government. And this is actually directed at producing skilled staff to perform jobs at limited complexity under supervision. So So we have a range of jobs that we have classified, some that are safety related, some that are safety and complex, but are limited in a way. So we want to have different categories of workers that will handle this. These are the plans. And some of the programs that we thought of are institution specific. We could have an inspector qualification program, safety assessor qualification program, security qualification program, safeguard qualification program up to emergency preparedness and response qualification program. So this program should be available at the institute, as each institute, maybe the operator has its own program, and the regulator also have its own program for training its competence. At the last level, that's the advanced level, that constitutes also institution-specific qualification program. Should be a 3 year program consisting of the job mentoring at a nuclear power station, plus research in specialized area leading to the award of a doctoral degree. And this should be sponsored by stakeholders as well. And it's targeted at producing highly skilled staff that could perform tasks under their own responsibility in an autonomous way. So this is a high level, and therefore more stringent requirements are needed for such competencies. Talking about retention of competency, as I said earlier, this is one of the major drawbacks that we have as newcomer countries. We are able to keep our training or competencies because of the lack of the industry not growing that much, and therefore we are able to provide certain things. But I think that in order to retain our staff or upgrade the competencies, there should be opportunities for us to offer employment to the people we train to work on the job and upgrade, and also give them good condition of service, and also engage in continuous improvement of knowledge in the staff. And we are of the view that human resource development is not a one institution issue, it's a holistic issue that must be approached by stakeholders in the field. And this chart here just shows that there's a need for governments, university, even employers, that's industry cooperation in developing a competence program for building HR in the field. And we think that government should play a role, educational institutions should play a role, industry, research institution, national partners, vendor country, and also through some regional cooperation, we could be able to secure good agreements to work together in developing competence human resource. So now the role of the School of Nuclear Life Sciences in HRD. The School of Nuclear Life Sciences was formed to develop human resource to sustain the activities of the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, but along the line, the issues are coming up. So they're actually doubling up now to train faculty that could teach, that you can carry the knowledge on to other graduates, maybe undergraduate students that are coming up. So that's one of their roles. And also they develop the basic level knowledge in nuclear to sustain the HR need of the Ghana Nuclear Power Program. And some of the programs that we run at the School of Nuclear Life Sciences include the nuclear sciences and application, nuclear safety and security, nuclear engineering, nuclear agriculture and radiation processing, and medical physics. Well, some of the challenges, as I mentioned earlier, the nuclear industry is not developed to partner SNAS in providing training. SNAS can do it best to bring the expertise through teaching, but there is a need for us to go through a lot of training, a lot of practical work that will sustain the knowledge and that will make it real for us. This is what we are learning and this is how applicable it is. But the industry is not there to provide us support for SNAS to grow on. There is inadequate training facilities and experimental laboratories. As I said, for example, in the nuclear engineering program, there should be the need for particular rigs for the study of flow systems and other things. These things are not available for now. There are some of the challenges we have. And the education should be more practical, but in that way, we do more of the theories, and there's a need of a lot of practical addition to a lot of labs, and that will actually add up to the skill that we acquire. And also, as I said, nuclear industry is not that developed to offer employment, to retain the knowledge we train. So at the end, we train a lot, and the market, they're just absorbed in the markets, and become difficult to actually know how they progress along the line in terms of their knowledge in the field. And this actually contributes to low motivation for students to actually opt for programs in digital engineering. So we have a big task to actually plan effectively as to how it will encourage students to come in for programs in digital engineering. In conclusion, I would say that we are on course, but there's a need for us to identify a suitable model for achieving the competency. Once we know the model we want to adopt, we know what is the requirements, what the infrastructure needs that we need that are there, what the human resource needs that are there that we could actually level up to it. And also there's a need to provide appropriate infrastructure for the effectiveness of the selected model, talking about funding of program, talking about the laboratories, and talking about the experimental facilities that are needed to actually deliver. And lastly, there's a need for us to collaborate with stakeholders to deliver well education and training. On that, I thank you so much.